hold on. A male and a female who are engaged in a romantic or sexual relationship, that would be heterosexual. You can, a male and a male who are engaged.
What makes that heterosexual?
The sex.
Literally the definition, unless you're going to be a science denier, which seems increasingly common amongst liberals, you're going to have to explain to me how somebody can change their sex. Unless you're prepared to disregard and deny decades or even centuries of biological science, which is in fact a science, it's not a soft science. So unless you're prepared to deny science, you're going to have to explain to me how a male can become a female.
With the surgery to give them the organs.
Does that?
So then what's
wait, hold on.
If you're going to nitpick the organ thing right now and start saying like, no. Uterus and
no. So okay, are they are they a woman before the surgery?
No.
Exactly.
Wait, so you're saying transgender women are not women? Wow, that's pretty insulting to people who identify as transgender.
What I'm saying is they can identify as a woman and they can have the characteristics of a woman and they can be going through the process of becoming a woman, a female. But you're switching the topic. You said that because the chromosomes won't change, that makes it homosexual. And I was asking, why is that the case?
Well, there's a simple way to phrase it. Can a woman become a trans woman?
Can a woman become a trans woman?
Yeah. Can a female become a trans woman? Why not?
Because they're already a female. Okay, that doesn't answer my question, though.
Well, what you just said is that they can't change their sex.
They can't change any part about themselves to make them more of a woman.
Why can't they be a trans woman?
They can't be because they're already a woman.
So then what you're saying is that a trans woman,
it's not a woman.
Right, is not a woman.
No, they are a woman.
Exactly.
That transitioned into being a woman.
Wait, that's impossible.
How is that impossible?
I'm going to show you, okay? Why can't a woman be a trans woman?
Is the correct answer that you're looking for chromosomes?
I don't need you to look for whatever the correct answer is. I'm just looking for your answer.
But that's what I'm asking because I don't have an answer. So is it?
You don't
chromosomes?
have an answer?
Is it chromosomes?
Why? Well, I'm just asking why. What's your answer? Why do you need to know my answer to know your position?
No, I'm not. I'm wondering what your position is.
Why does it matter?
Because you're the one questioning me.
And so my position doesn't matter.
You guys are the ones saying that it's homosexual because you can't change your chromosomes.
I'm not even asking that. I'm just asking.
I'm asking about a previous thing that still has been
I know,
refused
but this is you can internally critique my position. I'm fine with that. But what you're doing right now is you're just obfuscating because you don't want to answer. I'll answer your questions, but answer mine first. So
why does yours need to be answered first?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll let you ask your questions, right? Ask all of them. But then I want you to promise that after I answer them all, you'll answer mine.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so why does not having female chromosomes make a sexual act homosexual if the male to female transition has been fully complete?
Wait, I do need to correct you there. You mean man to woman, because you cannot go from male to female.
Fine, man to woman.
I reject your presupposition, huh?
Yeah, for the same.
She agreed.
Sure.
She just agreed. She said, "Yeah, fine, man."
Well, it's actually really simple. So, if two male dogs were having sex, would they be engaged in a homosexual act?
Does one have a penis or not?
They both have penises.
Okay, then it's not.
Think about what dogs were doing as homosexual.
Then it's not a male to woman transformation that we're talking about.
It'd be a homosexual act, right?
Because both of them have penises. Yes.
Okay. What if one of the dogs didn't have a penis?
Then how would they be having sex?
The one dog would be humping the other dog.
The one with the penis would be humping
the one without the penis, yeah.
Okay, then I wouldn't say that that's homosexual. Why would that be homosexual?
So the male dog is no longer male?
I think comparing humans to animals in this scenario is actually kind of degrading. But
degrading?
Why? Yeah. Where human beings are animals.
We have higher brain cognitive function and we have the ability to decide.
So are you saying human beings are not animals?
I'm not saying that. Biologically,
well, then what are you talking about? We're all animals. Like, what do you mean?
We have a higher function. A dog cannot choose whether or not they want to be.
But that's the whole point that Brian's making. Now you got it, right? So if the dog can't make the choice, the gender choice, which is this construction of the mind, gender does not exist in objective reality. The sex does exist in objective reality.
Okay.
So if that is the case, there's no way for you to ever determine that a dog could ever be a female unless it told you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, got it. So then even if one dog had no penis and another dog did have a penis and that dog was having sex with the dog that had no penis, it would still be a homosexual act, right?
Sure.
Then
But
how would
does
that, so then why wouldn't that translate to humans?
Why would it?
Well, because the only difference is that you're saying that if the dog, one dog who currently is a homosexual, hang on. You're saying the one dog currently who's engaged in the homosexual act were able to somehow turn its head around and just speak in perfect English and say, by the way, I'm a girl dog, it would now be a female.
No,
That's why it makes no sense.
Okay, let me clarify. If that dog was able to get a transitional surgery where it had a dog vagina and it had dog titties, then yes, it would be a female dog.
So I just want to make sure, if I were to like mad scientist this up and just grabbed a random male dog from the street, took its penis off, gave it a neo-vagina, then gave it dog titties somehow.
I mean, that would
hang
be
on. I did
unethical,
all that.
but-
I did all that.
Okay.
When the other male dog comes in, right, and has sex with it, right, that other dog, in your view, is a female.
Yes.
What makes it that?
Because it does not have a penis and it has.
Got it.
That-
So then what's the distinction then if that dog somehow had some birth defect that it grew titties and then it lost its penis because it got hit by a car? How is it not still a male dog then?
How is it still not a male dog?
Would it be a male dog then?
Based off of looks,
Not
and
based
it's
off
not
of
my
looks,
dog.
based off of male.
God.
Based off of male.
Yeah.
So your whole argument's coming back to chromosomes and how it was born.
No, I'm just asking you
Well,
what would
no,
make
that's,
it
that is
like if a
inherently what
man
you're
lost
asking,
his
though.
penis in an accident, what does he
identify
and then had
as?
a massive quantity of right. That's it. There we go. What does he identify as? So this is the social construction aspect.
Which only humans can do, yes.
Yes, this is the social construction
not
aspect.
true.
So if that is the case,
How is that not true?
I tell you how it's not true.
No, you don't say anything for a second. Let me finish. Holy
I
shit!
did
Before you
figure
fuck it
out
up again. So really simple. If it is a social construction, and it has to be identified as a social construction, as a product of purely the mind,
Okay.
then the physical aspect hasn't changed.
Unless you go through the surgeries.
No, because if it were the case that some man, let's just say, some man was walking down the street and his penis was cut off and through some freakish fucking accident, okay, a razor came flying down, cut a huge slit open right there, and he had to keep it open for some reason. A penis could fit into it technically. Then his body upped the estrogen and he was able to grow boobs. And he had to have that done for some reason. And he said that he was a man. He'd be a man, right?
Thank you, Robert.
If a traumatic accident that's super unlikely to ever happen
Gave the same conditionals
versus
for this person to have
somebody-
all the phenotypes.
versus
Yeah.
somebody going through actual professional treatment.
Yes.
How is that comparable?
Because all I'm saying is, if there was some freak accident which somehow gave the same exact conditionals as what you would consider the phenotypical expression of a female to be, but still called themselves a man, you would say that they were a man. So the only thing that would make them a woman is you saying they're a woman. That's it. Right?
I mean, if you want to put me in that box, sure.
How else could it work?
It's not what they're saying. You don't decide what they are, but you basically whatever someone says they are, you're gonna agree.
It's not
Right.
just
It's like what
you,
their
it's-
overall team saying.
Because how am I, somebody who doesn't know their life, doesn't know what they've been through?
It doesn't
I don't
matter.
know what's in their
Well, and
head.
what's
It
wrong
doesn't
with
matter.
it?
It's emotions.
Exactly. It doesn't
But
matter.
it's emotion.
So why
Can
do I?
can I tell you?
No. Why do I have the right to dictate what somebody else does with their own body?
Because it's not about doing their own. It's not. That's not the point.
Because-
The point is
well, I
that
can tell you.
emotions, emotions are irrelevant. You need to look at reality in the face. She doesn't born a woman. She's not a woman. It's simple as that. You guys got doctrinated for 20 years. They brainwashed you that it's a woman. It's a woman, but it's not a woman. It's a man pretending to be a woman and going through the surgery
wait,
and
okay, so
manipulate.
if you
and
look at
manipulate.
two
Wait,
people-
and
let her
manipulate.
finish. Kika, let her
The,
finish.
the problem is that they manipulate their body. Okay, it's a huge difference. Let's say I want to do a nose job, right? My nose is big. I want to do a nose job. I still stay my same sex. I can change my face. I can change my boobs, but I'm still the same sex. But they forcing people, right?
Who's forcing who?
The people who, I don't want to say names, but the people who make that all agenda, right? They forcing. Let me finish. They forcing people, okay, to have a male changing his sex and forcing regular men who are not gay by any mean, okay, to manipulate them to think that they are women. This person, he's not a woman. It's a man pretending to be a woman. And
Okay.
it's not correct because it's manipulating. It's a huge manipulation in society. You sit here for an hour and argument about chromosomes. You scared when Andrew and him told you about chromosomes. Every time they mentioned the word
Not
chromosome.
scared, but okay.
Yeah, but it's like you fear from that. And I realized,
don't, but okay.
I realized all people that think like you scared from the chromosome thing.
I'm not
it's
scared,
It's a
but okay.
biological, listen, it's a biological fact. You
I
cannot,
understand that.
So how about I'm 23. I'm not 50. I'm 23. I'm 23. I'm tall. I'm whatever, 6 foot. I'm 23 and I'm 6 foot, and you just don't look at me right. Is something wrong with your sight? I want to understand what's wrong with your sight because I'm young. I'm 23. Is that seem the same? It's manipulation and it's lying. It's a complete lying, and you
What makes
agree
it a
with
lie?
a lie. It makes it a lie.
What makes it a manipulation? Who's manipulating people to change their gender?
It's manipulation because
No, I
want to ask you something.
Actually, I'm
Wait, I
actually
wanna ask
really
you something.
worried.
But wait,
No, I'm
Let her
actually
ask,
really
let her
worried
ask.
as to what makes you think people are
You never let me
manipulating
speak.
other
It's
people
You
impossible.
spoke
to change
plenty.
their...
What are you
No,
talking
it's not
about?
true.
Especially
You have to allow the person to
No.
respond.
Actually, I would love to hear what you say because I haven't really heard much from this side of the
Well, I
table.
was just going to say, especially if you disclose and if you agree that it's homosexual, like what's the problem? Like what's the issue?
I don't have
It's all
problem
about
with
disclosure.
I don't
Yeah.
have problems. Listen,
And
I don't
making
have
the other person
problems.
Have the right to decide.
Yeah.
I don't have problem with homosexuals or with gay. I even have a couple in my family. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But I lived in the 90s and the 2000s, and I knew the gay community was completely different. Today,
But you didn't
it's
live
not. Wait,
here.
And I
wait.
have another
I
question
did.
for
I
you.
did. I've been here since the 90s, back and forth with my family. It's not true. It's the same. Also in Israel. Actually, in Israel, we have a huge gay
from
community.
Israel?
Yeah, we have a huge gay community. It's even worse than here. Trust
Yeah,
me.
Tel Aviv.
It's the worst. But what I'm
Oh
trying
my
to
god, this is getting
Israeli.
fucking
Yeah.
TOS, bro.
no, it's not
I-
you. It's
Holy
not
no,
you.
I'm cutting you off, man. You
Oh my
can't
God, you always cutting
fucking
me
help
off.
yourself, man.
I have a question for you.
No, that has to be fucking TOS, bro.
But it's not US. I'm not saying
You
something
don't
bad.
know what TOS. Oh my, you don't even. What is TOS? Tell me what TOS is.
I don't know how to translate, but I'm careful with my words.
Nah, you're. Oh my god, bro.
So
Fucking
the
massive
question-
Everything I say, I'm a
mistake.
problem.
The-
I
Can I
don't-
ask a
Massive
question?
fucking
the
mistake.
question basically just comes down to this, right? So if I show you $1, I don't know if you have a $2 bill there or not, but the idea is, there we go. So how much is this worth?
$2.
What makes it worth $2?
That's what society and the government has assigned to it.
So what is this in actuality?
Paper.
That's the argument.
Exactly.
So the idea here is really simple. The idea here is that the social construction aspect of this is that this seemingly symbol of 2 equals $2, and if I hand it to you, you and I have assessed that value as being $2, right? Or it could be a 20, or it could be 100. But what are we actually looking at? We're actually looking at, objectively, a piece of paper. The construction side of the piece of paper is its value. What you're doing is a bait and switch. You're saying the construction side, this is actually, right, in objective reality, worth $2. It's not, though. It's worth whatever you'll give me for it, right? Whatever we agree to, whatever we agree it is, it will be that thing. That's the distinction between the social construction aspect and the reality aspect. You and I both know, though, that it's just a piece of paper. And so this, when we dive into objective reality versus the social construction aspect, when you say it's a woman, a female, right? Because I think that's a female, right? You could even get people to agree that it was, right? Or this, animal or person or whoever was. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, the objective reality doesn't change. Right?
The Bronasons donated $200. Why is female Dr. Roxo talking so much? Shut this venomous creature up. Overweight women are not allowed to have opinions. Question: why do women listen to respond and not to understand?
I think she's listening to understand.
Yeah, she's fine.
I think she's doing a great
Yeah.
job.
Bronaissance, thank you for the
I'm glad you
TTS.
can say that.
I haven't seen you in
But
a while.
can you go right in the mic and say that you're Dr. Roxo, the cocaine clown? Because that would be awesome.
I don't know who that is.
I don't even know.
You,
what that
you
is.
never saw Metalocalypse? So
No.
good.
Dariel_Frank
good.
Castle 512 donated $200. Here's a Miller Lite Bop, the champagne of beers. Rachel has us laughing our X's off on the crucible. A Decepticon is still a man, no matter what it transforms into.
Frank Castle, I do appreciate it, man. Thank you. And we have, let this one come through. Are they for real? Says, it's coming in just a moment. Thank you guys for the messages. In nature, dangerous animals are brightly colored, i.e. poison dart frog, venomous snakes, blue-ringed octopus. Do you have a response to this? Because of the hair, I guess.
Because of the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're implying that I'm dangerous because I dyed my hair.
I think so, yes. That's the implication.
Cool.
Maybe not dangerous, but it's like brightly colored like animals or bugs or whatever. It's like a warning.
Like they already know.
warning?
They already know what your point of view just because how you look, like radical liberal.
Okay. I wouldn't classify myself as a radical liberal because there are a lot of things that both sides do that I don't agree with. I think it's weird to judge somebody based off of the color of their hair. This was literally just for my birthday party.
Sure. Okay. I did want to have a bit more of an exchange because I don't think we really got to finish unless perhaps I can have it. Then, Andrew, I know you wanted to pose some questions unless you've posed them already.
Yeah, well, and answer them. That was our arrangement, right? I promised I would answer first.
Oh, so we didn't even get
Well,
to her
I just wanted
questions
to
and
make
then-
sure that I finished whatever her
All right.
inquiry was.
Okay, so, well, did you guys finish? Did you get to ask your questions?
No.
Or?
I mean,
Okay. I would like to finish
Sure, go ahead.
mine first, and then you guys can have
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
So we were having a back and forth on like, well, what constitutes heterosexuality, right? So again, I just ask: is a transgender woman female?
is a transgender woman female?
Yeah.
If you're going based off of the definitions, no, because they don't have a uterus, they don't have ovaries. So, no.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
there's females without ovaries and uteruses, though.
Yeah, if they have them taken out.
Or they could be born without them.
Yeah, they would still be
Yeah.
female. But so
That's
you
a
do.
question I want to debate.
Okay.
Happy to do it, Kiko.
That's
Okay.
something I want to
You can
debate.
jump in if you want.
No, it's different from this. So
So
I'll-
go ahead.
Yeah. So you acknowledge that transgender women are not females, no matter what degree of operations they've had.
I mean, if that added information of women can be born without ovaries and
Yeah.
yada yada, then sure, they could be female then.
Okay, well, even using, I suppose, your own definition of what male and female is, does it even meet your definition?
Honestly, I don't think it's that deep. If somebody wants to transition, they should be
Well, that-
able to.
Yeah, sure, I'll grant that.
Cool.
But are they female?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So then you would agree then that it's not straight for a man to date a trans woman?
That it's not straight for a man to date a trans woman.
Yes.
We're just going purely off of homo, meaning same, and sex, meaning...
Yeah. So I definitely don't think it's homosexual for a male to be dating a trans woman.
Okay, so you think it's heterosexual then?
Honestly, I would say that it's queer. It falls under the queer umbrella.
Okay.
That would be my response.
I'm
to
actually
that.
fine with that, but I don't think it can ever be heterosexual. Perhaps you disagree that it's homosexual.
I disagree
I don't
that it's
really care.
homosexual. Yeah,
Yeah, that seems
but
to
we
be
can
like a
agree.
distinction
We can
without
agree
merit.
that it's not
Right?
stereo.
I mean, but I don't even, if they're not willing to grant it's homosexual, but they'll grant that it's not heterosexual, I guess
It's actually
I'm okay with
bizarre
it.
that
I'm okay with that.
T is even there. Like, it's not even a requirement that there be same sex at all. I've never even understood that, but
Wait for what?
I see the argument about how LGBTQ like T shouldn't be a part of it because it's not it's not about sexuality necessarily. So it is random that it is involved in it. It does seem kind of agenda based in that sense. I'll grant you that. But there's
let's get to this.
where else
You
where
were-
else do we put them?
Hold
Okay,
on,
sorry,
hold on,
Brian,
hold
go
on.
ahead.
I mean, and then Kiko, your position seemed to be that you disagree that it's not straight for a man to date a trans woman. Has your mind been changed on this, or still?
I'm not going to tell somebody what classifies them as trans, but
you will tell someone. Sorry, go ahead.
But if you are a man sleeping with a transgender woman and she has a penis still, I would associate that as queer, of some umbrella. Of course,
not
that's not
straight.
straight.
But not straight.
But if it's a woman, if it's a trans woman who's gone through all the operations and no longer has a penis and has a man-made vagina, I wouldn't consider that gay. Because there's a lot of...
Is it straight, though?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of women who look a lot more like men that dudes have sex with that's considered straight, and they give off a lot more mannish than
they have a
trans
vagina.
Hang
women.
on, Kiko, that's totally fair.
But so does the trans woman.
I just have a single follow-up then, if that's the basis of the criteria.
I think you should tread lightly
What makes
about this conversation.
what makes a
What do you
real
mean?
If I'm being honest, you're beautiful, but if I saw you on the street, I would think you were a trans man.
It's okay, but I have a vagina
That's fine, right?
and a real one.
So what makes you any different than a man sleeping with you
Because
versus
I have a
Nikita
real
Dragon?
vagina.
But it's all about appearance.
Actually, this is a really good question for you then. So then what just makes a really ugly woman not a man?
Because it's not about being ugly. It's about...
But
Because
what
to
if
me,
you were so ugly you looked just like a dude? What
I
makes
wouldn't
you...
say because you're ugly you look like a man.
Yeah,
That's
just
different.
like that.
It's two different things.
that's literally what
no,
you
what
just
I'm
said.
saying is because she's had so much work done
I didn't
that
know.
she kind of replicates.
Not to her.
Not
Forget
true.
what you said to her. Before that, when you were giving your explanation, you said specifically, I actually know some women who look more like men than the men. And it's like, okay, then what you're doing is you're saying, what if there's a really ugly chick who just happens to look like a man? What makes her not one?
So that's what I'm saying to you is I understand what you're processing what I said as being ugly versus pretty. I don't consider her ugly in the slightest. She's a beautiful woman. It's nothing about being ugly versus not. It's
Okay,
just
fine.
certain
That's-
procedures. It's certain
if you look
procedures
just
that
like
women
a
get
man,
done that
if
make
you're
them
a female,
look
if you look just
more
like a man
manly.
with no procedures whatsoever, what makes you not
So
one?
this is the conversation that I was saying. I was like, I don't want to bring this up right now.
Bring it up.
Recently, I served somebody. Okay, I check IDs. As part of my job is
Sure.
checking IDs.
Yeah.
I never look at the sex. I never look at male versus female.
Okay.
This person who handed me the ID made me want to look. Are they male or female?
Yeah, it's Pat.
No, there was an X there.
Yeah, it's Pat.
And looking at them, I swear to God, I could not tell if they were a man or a woman.
Yeah, it's Pat.
So would
That's
that
an
make
old Saturday Night Live
But would
bit.
that make a man gay for sleeping with them? Because they did give off a lot of features that looked manly. I don't know what they had in their pants.
not-
Well, it's not homo. Well, okay.
That's why it was a different
This is
conversation.
why
That's
we
why I didn't
get-
want to bring it up when we were talking
Yeah,
about
but
that whole
this-
debate. It was like a whole other thing that I was actually curious
But that's
about.
a point against you, right? Because that would just mean that if any man out there slept with a woman who was ugly enough to be perceived as a man.
That's not what I'm.
Okay, maybe not, but
It's not about
but
ugly
it's going
or
to be the
pretty.
same.
It's
But it's
nothing
going to be the
about
same
that.
argument either way.
It's about distinguishable features that make
Most
you look like a
men
man or a woman.
who think a woman looks like a man are going to perceive that woman as being ugly, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's all about perception. Because I think a lot of women look like men who other men will think are beautiful, the most gorgeous woman ever. And I'm like, she looks.
Sure, yeah. And
like
that's
she was
what I'm
probably
saying.
born a
That's what I'm
man,
saying is
if I'm
that if
being
you have a
honest.
man, if you have a chick who looks exactly like a man, and a heterosexual man has sex with her, but she's born a female, you would never say that that was homosexual. Ever.
Can you repeat what you just said?
If you had a woman who just looked like a man,
A woman
for
who looked
whatever
like a man.
reason, they were born that way. They just happened
Right.
to look. They had, I would say, ugly parent, but let's say not ugly,
Whatever
right?
you say,
Whatever
yeah.
your subjective metric is for this, okay. Just looked like it's Pat from Saturday. You couldn't tell, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a man from your perspective. Wasn't, right? Female, born a female. You would never say that the man who slept with that woman was a homosexual. That would be crazy, right?
So it's all about perception and what you believe. That's why I've said
That's
I
why I'm
believe,
asking your perception and belief.
because that's what I'm saying. When you walk down the street, some people believe that they can tell every single person who's transitioned. That's not the case. That's not the truth.
I didn't say it was.
Okay, so my whole point is, if they still have male reproductive parts
Mm-hmm.
and another male has sex with them, I would consider that on the queer spectrum. But if a man decides,
If so, so a woman who doesn't identify as anything but a woman, a female.
no, I'm saying a man with
Yeah, but a female who identifies nothing but a female, okay, and just happens to look just like a man. If a heterosexual man slept with that woman, you would classify that as being LGBTQ?
No. That's not what I said at all.
Why not?
Because they have a vagine.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. Because I believe if she is a transitioning woman, but fully is transitioned, that they're acting as a female. But if you as a man are sleeping with a trans woman who still has male reproductive parts, I would consider that queer.
Okay, well, let's
That's what
find
I'm
out if
saying.
that's true. So she's born, right? And unfortunately, she had a deformed vagina. They had to close this up, and she can only go to the bathroom through a catheter. Okay? Born a female. Okay? Marries a man, right? He loves her. Is this now an LGBTQ
No,
relationship?
I'm talking about if this person they don't have to have a vagina, but if
But
they
the
have
vagina's
a penis,
gone now.
I don't care if it's gone. I'm talking about if they have a penis. If they're slinging dick and a man sleeps with them, yes, that's gay. But
Yeah,
if they don't anymore,
because
then I
they're
don't
born-
consider that
they're
gay at
born
all.
with-
No.
They're born with a penis.
It doesn't matter what they're born with. I'm talking about in the moment they are in their doonies, in their pants, if they have nothing, I don't know what that is. That we need to make a word
So
for
what
that.
if you had a female who just was deformed?
She doesn't have a penis?
Yeah, but what if she had something shaped like a penis, but she was just deformed?
Are you talking about an enlarged clitoris?
Yeah.
That's two different things than a
Yeah,
penis.
but it was so enlarged it was made to look like one.
But we know scientifically that wouldn't happen.
No, it has happened.
I'm talking about a full dick and balls. Okay?
Yes.
If they have
You're talking about a
full
male.
dick and
You're
balls,
talking about a
those
male.
are two different things.
Yeah,
Like, I
you're
don't know
talking
how
about-
hard that
you're
is
talking
to
about a male versus a
understand.
female. That's
I
my
feel
whole
like
point.
you don't even disagree with me right now.
No, I
Like,
do. I do disagree. 'Cause I'm trying to show you something which is important.
So, okay, so here, right? I know you're married. I know you have your life together.
Mm-hmm.
But say you met a woman and you slept with her.
Sure.
And then 2 weeks later, you find out that she's a fully transitioned woman.
Mm-hmm.
Would you now consider yourself gay?
No,
Because he didn't know about it.
of course not.
She deceived him. If he knew
That's
that
a whole different
But
conversation.
if he
Deceivement
knew,
is a whole.
It's
no,
not.
deceivement is a whole different conversation. We're talking about
but
the
if he-
actual
wait.
act.
No disclosure,
If
yes,
you knew-
it would be deception.
Like here.
Yes, that's a whole different debate, though. I'm talking about you.
Sure.
If he knew it, he wouldn't
that's a whole
sleep
different
with
wait,
her.
but wait, it's not, and I can prove it to you. Okay, we can just do a blind slit.
You were attracted to her.
No,
You were.
we can-
If
But
you
he
were
didn't
attracted to her,
know.
are you
Hang on,
gay
Kiko,
because you were attracted
I'll
to her?
test the logic for you.
He didn't know.
You can take, let's say that you had, let's say you had a piece of cardboard, okay, piece of cardboard, and it had a hole cut out in it, and you were on a game show, and on the game show they showed you a picture and said, this is the woman that's on the other end of that, right? And you're gonna stick your thing through this cardboard, and this is what you're gonna have sex with, and you're like, wow, okay, and on the other end it was actually a man. Are you gay?
I wouldn't say you were gay, but
Well, why not?
If you enjoyed
Wait, why?
it, then you might need to consider why you liked it.
Why not? Why wouldn't you
think
be
there-
gay? Why wouldn't you be gay?
I no, I'm saying if I know you were deceived, but if you enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
that, then you might need to consider your sexuality because I feel like you should be able
You
to
don't
tell the
know,
difference.
though.
You should be able to tell.
How do you tell?
I feel like there's clear differences.
How do
I
you
thought
know?
you said that you should be able to tell.
How do you know? Like
Didn't
the
you
point.
say
The
that it
point
should be-
is
you should be able to tell
The
that?
I don't know.
point
I'm
is- no, I
bisexual
didn't
and I
say
feel like I
anything.
could clearly tell when there's a man versus a woman
So,
going down on
even-
you.
But
So,
here's the
wait,
thing.
I
here's
have-
the
I have a
thing.
follow-up
Again,
question.
just real quick though.
And
The second we add the deceptive layer,
and if you're putting your
it's not
dick
very
through
clear,
a random
is it?
cardboard hole, I think we have other things.
has
you-
nothing to
figure
do
it out.
with
Have you
the
ever-
point.
have you ever-
related to the original?
Have you-
Yeah,
Kiko-
I'm all ears.
Have you ever saw a vagina after surgery?
What?
Have you ever saw a transgender vagina?
Not in person.
I lived in
will say,
Thailand
but on
for a
Google.
year. A lot of them do
you
the
were just
surgery.
looking at them?
No, not just looking at them because
Oh.
I happened to see it. Okay.
How
But-
did you see one?
I'm
Well, you're saying that. I'm just
And
curious
how
where the
was-
flame's
I
coming
was
from.
working in a salon. I was working in a salon and waxing. So I used to see a lot. Okay. And the vagina of surgery and a real vagina, it's completely different thing. By the way, they have to do 3-4 times a day to put something inside. Otherwise, this hole closed. They have to lubricate it.
It's
they can't
not 3-4 times a day. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
they do.
that's-
If not, they get
be
sick.
factual, 'cause I
They're
know
gonna
exactly
get
what you're
sick,
speaking
and it's
about.
gonna get decay, and it's gonna go bad.
It will close
inside.
up.
It will
is
close
the
up.
issue,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
it's
Eventually,
once a day, and then it turns into
Wait a
once every
second.
4 weeks, and then
it's
it
a
turns
work-
into
Wait a
once every
second,
6
wait a
months.
second.
Let's be factual though. If you're gonna
Wait,
bring
but
it up,
I
make
know
sure
a
you know what
person.
you're talking about.
But wait, listen. I'm not arguing with you. I'm
No,
telling you.
I know you're not, but you bring up a lot of.
But let me tell you,
Little
let
shit
me
sometimes
speak.
you know what you're
Let me finish. I know a Thai woman. She was not doing it every day. Okay, it eventually closes, and then it's inside. It's got rotten, and she have to do a really emergency surgery that she cannot pee anymore. Regular, she can do nothing basically. So for a regular woman, wait. My point is that a regular woman doesn't have to go through this virtual in
What if
order
she
to
does?
stay.
Is she not a woman anymore if she has
but
issues?
wait, let me finish. A regular woman have naturally fluence. Naturally, she can have orgasm from her vagina.
And it's the same thing he said. Just because you're not a woman, if you don't have an orgasm, like if you don't have an organs, you're not a woman if you have issues with your vagina.
Let me tell you something.
Argument.
A person that need to change their sex in their mind, when you imagine just yourself for a second. Imagine yourself for
That's
a
a
second.
whole different argument. I
Thinking-
agree. Different
think-
argument.
Let her talk.
Think about it for a second, because I've been thinking about it, because I try to empathize, and I thought about it. Think about it for a minute, for real. Think about it. Inside, that you all of a sudden you don't feel a woman. You feel like you want to have a penis, and you want to feel like a male. Okay, feelings doesn't mean anything.
That's not what we're talking about.
Feeling. I'm saying it to both of you. Feelings deceive us. Feelings can lead us to chaos, to destruction. Feelings doesn't mean nothing. Based on their feelings, they change the whole society. Based on their feelings, they get support. Based on the feeling, things happen they're not supposed to happen. It's only feeling. It's not real. It's fictionary.
Well, you
How
feel
does that
gay for
affect
sleeping with a
you?
trans woman. That's your
How
feelings.
it
You
affects
feel
me?
gay. So
I
like,
tell you
that's-
how it affects
I
me.
understand what you're saying, but that's like a completely
Of course, it affects
different
everybody in
topic of what we're
society.
talking
How?
about.
It's with numerous ways. First of all, I don't want my son, when he go before the school, he complain. Or my friend daughter, she go to school, she have a kid with dressing like a girl, that they complain. It's a lot of things that affecting us. It's not just one
Okay,
thing.
so-
I cannot get benefit from the government. You know, the crippled people don't get the same benefit as they get. It's so many things change in society. You can't even speak about it because they crucify you.
Okay, so you're mad because you weren't dealt with these hardships, and you don't have these feelings, and you don't have to go through what they go through, and you're mad.
It's not
because
hardship.
your children in a public
It's
school
not hardship.
are experiencing public differences
It's
of
not-
somebody
it's not the
else's
sa- listen,
choices, and you
listen,
guys
it's-
are having issues with
it's
that.
not-
Sounds like a you
it's
problem.
not-
Sounds like your family's
It's
problem.
It's not a hardship. You know what is
They
a
are
hardship?
not doing this
You know
to
what is a
spite you.
hardship?
They are not
You know what
doing
is a
this
hardship
to affect you.
You know what is a hardship? When you raise your child until he's 21 or 22, and then God forbid he die in a car accident. You know what's a hardship? When your wife is getting cancer. This is a hardship. When somebody choose to go and cut themselves and deform themselves and take money from a taxpayer, this is a problem. This is a real issue.
A very small percentage of tax dollars actually go
It's
to
not
that,
actually.
so-
It's completely not. It's actually completely
I mean,
not.
wasn't Kamala like she was
It's
in favor
completely
of
not.
like transgender prisoners getting gender reassignment surgery?
Actually, I want to add something to this, and there's the fact that there is such a thing as entity attachments, and that's
my.
something that creates
my
people to want to
God.
become a different gender.
Yeah, let's get into this real quick.
I don't know if that's
Hang on. This
Wait. Can I ask the question that I wanted to ask?
Okay, but we're coming back to this.
Yes, it'll be a quick question.
All
I
right.
promise I won't
okay.
attach onto it. But when you were saying like, oh, if you or I think you asked if he slept with somebody that was a girl, even though he was married and blah blah blah, and you didn't know, and
Sure.
like
the
2
perception
weeks
is
later,
you got tricked. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you consider that a homosexual act that you did?
So I think that these things are based around intentionality. So the idea that you could be tricked, right, or in some way be moved to do things, or the idea that you can be pushed into doing a sexual. So like, I'll give you an example, a good counterexample. I have to be very careful with how I use this language, but underage people, right? Mm-hmm. They can be tricked into feeling pleasure at certain of these things, right? This is all bad, though. You and I would agree that this is all bad. It's not a determination of their sexuality, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
How come?
But that's not.
How come?
How come? Like, okay, I need more information because that was very vague. So
Well,
I don't
I have to be
actually
vague.
know what you're
Unfortunately,
saying.
okay, I gotta move away from that.
Okay,
but the thing
then
is,
we can talk about it after. But
the principle here is very simple, right?
So you wouldn't consider it-
a person being tricked, right? They're being tricked. This can happen to anybody. You can be tricked in all sorts of different ways. It's not going to be a determination, though, as to whether or not you're actually attracted to men or women. You have a perception. It'd be no different than if I gave you drugs. What if I gave you drugs, and then your brain was frying, and you perceive that a horse was a woman? Does that mean that if you banged the horse, that means that you are attracted to horses?
But like,
so
okay,
no, because you're under the influence and you can't make
You have your
cognitive
final
functions.
word, and then
I'm actually really intrigued by this. I want to
because
question.
all I'm saying is, would you consider that still because that person isn't a female?
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider that a homosexual act after the fact, after knowing that they're?
Yeah, so that would, the act itself would be a homosexual act.
Okay, that's all I was asking.
Sure,
I just
yeah.
wanted to
Okay.
see your
That's
Yeah, of
clarification
course,
on it.
of course,
Yeah,
it would be a
kinda-
homosexual act.
Okay.
Because like I was like, what if a guy's like,
However,
I hate black chicks, I would never be attracted
that doesn't
to one.
mean
It's not the
that,
same.
Yeah, right. But that doesn't mean. Actually, that makes my point.
That's
You
what
could be tricked. You could be tricked even
Yeah,
in that
but I'm like-
aspect. So the idea here is like what
But you're still
all Brian's trying to say. He's trying to distinguish
Right?
between the act, right? Here,
Go ahead.
yeah. So he's just saying, here's our act,
On the ground.
and here's not our act. So would that be engaging in a homosexual act? Oh yeah, for sure. Nobody would dispute that that is true, right? Would that make the person a homosexual though? Right? I don't think so.
No.
For instance, a good example of this: you're in prison, you're coerced, right?
Well, that's a whole other
But
issue.
but it's a
yes.
homosexual act, right? Mm-hmm. But does that make you a homosexual?
Exactly.
It depends on if you're the giving or the receiving.
The receiver.
Honestly. Okay.
No,
no, that
no,
makes
of
you a
course
victim.
not.
That makes you a
Of
victim.
course. That's all we're arguing here is that makes you a victim here as well. It's a form of coercion, trickery. That's
why
the whole point.
I could
down
partially
to-
agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why